little Nova love. Didn't even know
Oh,
I got
okay.
Kool-Aid was gonna get drafted. That's what's up.
Well, Roman, why don't we start? When you look at the tape on Kool-Aid, what kind of stands out to you the most?
Number one, he's always on top. He's a smart player, smart defensive back. I've told him this personally. I think he reminds me of Corey Webster as far as his height, his size, the way he plays. I never know how fast he is because he's always on top. He's always in control of the route, especially the receiver. So if he can continue, I think that is a great person, a great comp. I've actually told him this. He didn't even know who Corey Webster was. I'm like, you're a coach, Nick Saban coach. I'm asking about him. Because of the size, the speed, the ability, even Kool-Aid actually probably tested faster than him. So really great job. I'm very excited for him to be on New Orleans, and I think he can contribute very, very early. And I always like New Orleans because they address the defensive back situation all the time, and you win sometimes defensively from the back down to the line of scrimmage. Everybody, so often, sometimes teams think you win from the front to the back, but sometimes it's good to go build from the back to the front.
How old did you feel when he said he didn't know who Corey Webster was?
I mean, it just young kids are just different. I have kids, and children, not Kool-Aid's age, but sometimes, people only look at the superstars or, right now, like where I'm at. I mean, some people might not even know Dale Green is, dude, and this guy played for 20 freaking years. Who am I kidding? Like, this is just who we're dealing with in today's time. I'm not shocked that he did not know who Corey Webster is, but you guys should just use that and make sure he studies who he is, because as long as he continues to improve his game like Corey Webster, who did it on the biggest and brightest stars and lights at New York with the Giants for all those years, a lockdown corner that always made the big plays and also tackled well in space and did those other little things, you'll be successful for a long time, which is truly what we all yearn for. Just to get your name called is a beautiful dream. But to actually build a career and do something great for an extended period of time in your life, that's what we all aim for, especially in this room where I'm at right now. This is beautiful where I'm at.
Roman, obviously we've seen him play press on the outside, but if he needed to play in the slot, does he have like the quickness and the fluidity to possibly be able to do that?
I don't think he was ever asked to do it. I mean, who am I to tell you what Kool-Aid can and can't do? A lot of that has to do with Kool-Aid himself. Let's look at who he was since high school, coming out of Alabama. Probably the top player in the state the year that he came out. He's been fluid and quick because he played quarterback and did all these other great things. So he's not just this corner that just showed up at Alabama and only played defensive back. The young man's been a great athlete since day one, and he's big as well. And so we'll see how he does, because playing the nickel is not just about being quick. You got to be great at blitzing. You got to be great at timing. You look at some of the greatest nickel defensive backs we have in the NFL, and not just today's game, but all time. You look at people like Rondé Barber, who flourished in the slot. You look at all the other greats. And so the slot, or playing in the slot, is it's not just a guy that can cover and be quick. It's a lot of other small details that separate you from everybody else.
Roman, can you talk about maybe the first time you met him and how he has grown, as a player, as a person from the first time you met him?
I interviewed him a couple years ago, and the first time I met him, he had more ice on than. I mean, the temperature went down 3 degrees immediately. So that was the first thing. But he's worn it. He's been consistent. He's also the same kid that went out of his way to take a picture with my son when we were both at an Alabama game. So I'm like, all these different things is who he is. He's from Alabama, so I've cheered for him and been a big fan of his since day one. He has a very unique name, so he comes in with a sense of personality, even though the reason he got the nickname is for a completely different reason. His grandma said he had a great, big old Kool-Aid smile. So that's why he was what it was. But the reason for why he wears the certain jewelry all has purposes. So I like that he's a man that's consistent. He's a man that has a purpose. And I'm just really looking forward to it. Anytime an Alabama defensive back or anybody from Alabama goes to a former, to New Orleans, a place that I love and hold dearly as my second home. So it's just it's really cool. And I'm just excited for that. And how dare I try and put a cap or say what Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be.
For the Saints to trade up for him, were you surprised he was still there at 41? Like, do you feel like the Saints, got a guy who should have gone much earlier?
No, I don't, because that's what the NFL draft is. It's amazing to see when people, because look, the draft is about, fulfilling a dream ultimately. Like, that's what it's supposed to be about. Now, what happens and messes up some people's dreams is that we put expectations on these kids, on these young men that are going into the draft. Like Will Levis last year, he wouldn't have been disappointed if everybody didn't tell him that he was going to be a top 10 pick. Like, he wouldn't have been disappointed. The disappointment comes when everybody tells you you're going to be this. Then all of a sudden you don't end up being that. And that's fine. Maybe use that as motivation going down the road. Do anything you got to do to be the best that you can. But the draft happens the way it happens. Nobody thought Bo Nix was going to be a top 12 pick. But when you have a run on quarterbacks or a run on wide receivers or a run on this, the draft happens where it happens and people start getting desperate. They move up. That's not your fault. That's not your problem. But people will always pay you a lot of money when you affect the quarterback. The quarterback being number one, we saw him and he got drafted 6 in the first 12 picks. Offensive lineman who's protecting the quarterback. Right defensive end, if you can rush the passer, you're going to go. Or guys that can cover or catch the football. Those are the ones that are high value players. And as long as you play those positions, you do them well, you're going to get paid fine. It don't matter anyways. First contract's just what it is. It's all about longevity, long money. It's all on the second and third contract.
So, Roman, what advice can you give him then as he gets ready now for the NFL with the Saints?
Kool-Aid himself?
Yes.
I would say embrace the community. New Orleans is a special place, and if you guys win there, you'll be great, and they'll love you forever. But just be yourself and just be one with them. Like that, to me, I feel like that was the one thing that I really, really enjoyed the most about New Orleans was that I was always able to just be myself. They didn't always love me at times, but I was always myself. And if you like get down with the people, like they're gonna get down with you, and that's what it's all about. And New Orleans is a great city that love the Saints. They love their sports. And man, it's just a great vibe. And I still keep a place there because New Orleans is a culture, it's a vibe, but it's the people. Like, it's not just being in New Orleans, the city. Like, that's not it. It's the people. And if you don't get with the people, then you won't get with the vibe or the culture, and you won't make it the best experience of your life, which is what this should be. This is your dream. It's what you always want to do since you're a young kid in the backyard. So don't ever forget that, and don't ever forget that enthusiasm that you get to come to work. And that it's not even work at first. It's just the game that you just love. Stay there and continue to search for it and try to be the best version of yourself. And let the chips fall where they fall.